One Man's Opinion. Today I am reviewing the new Broadway musical Redwood, with book by Tina Landau, music by Kate Diaz, lyrics by Diaz and Landau, conceived by Landau and Idina Menzel, additional contributions by Menzel, and directed by Landau, running at the Nederlander Theater at 208 West 41st Street in New York City. The sky's the limit with how much support could be given to this show if you were a patron over on my Patreon page. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get early access to episodes of my classic cinema podcast, Yesterday's Matinee. The latest episode is the 1929 film Un Chien Andalou, as well as access to special features like retro reviews and the occasional polls. Thank you to my current patrons, especially my Neo and Hamilton tier patrons, and welcome to the new ones. A link will be in the description. After a 10-year hiatus, Idina Menzel is back on Broadway. It is her first show since If Then, which ran for about a year, closing back in March of 2015. And well, yeah, it's been made up as a big deal that she's back, which is great and all. Redwood itself, though an inspiring musical about a mother looking for healing after the death of her child, lacks important story development for me. And musically, though it does have some great moments, some fantastic musical moments, I found overall good, but not necessarily great. Menzel plays Jessie, and she is married to Mel, played by D'Adre Aziza. Jessie's son Spencer, who was born from a previous relationship, is played by Zachary Noah Picer, who appears in flashbacks and appears to Jessie in visions. It's been 20 years since Mel and Jessie first met at an art show, and after Spencer's death, Jessie chooses to abandon her life in New York City and drive until she finds some place to heal. This ultimately leads her all the way across the country to a redwood forest in California, where she meets Finn, played by Michael Park, and Becca, played by Kayla Wilcoxon, two foresters who are there to study the redwoods by ascending up into the top of the trees to study it from up there. Marveled by this, Jessie convinces Finn to let her go up into the trees as well, much to Becca's disdain. The rest of the musical plays out as a form of nature therapy for Jessie as she deals with her grief and perceived failures as a mother. Menzel is sounding pretty healthy at the moment, which is great for those who see the show right now. The way she sings, particularly when she belts, you can see and feel the strain on her voice, and it takes a toll on quality over time. But the night I was in attendance, she was sounding quite good. I hope she is able to maintain that. The score doesn't overwork her voice too much either. Great Escape, the song she sings as she experiences her first time ascended into the trees, is probably the most challenging number for her vocally, and she hit it out of the park Wednesday night. The thing is, even though she had a creative hand in making the show, she doesn't have the best numbers in the show. Kayla Wilcoxon does as Becca. Her song called Becca's Song, which she sings after a confrontation with Jessie about understanding grief and purpose, is amazing. It's the standout song of the show, and Wilcoxon owns it. Michael Park gets more of the folky sounding songs, as Finn is kind of the older hippie of the group. His songs like Big Tree Religion and Roots have a bit more bounce and hummable melody to it. There are more ethereal musical moments that are enjoyable, like the score to The Ascent as the three of them climb up into the tree, and the 11 o'clock number Still is atmospheric, and along with the visuals going on in a moment is rather immersive. So let's talk about the visuals, because they really outshine what I think is a good but not great score and a so-so book. Grab your Dramamine, people, if you get motion sickness, because there is a lot of movement going on with Hana S. Kim's mesmerizing video design. Videos of the Redwood Forest wrap around about 180 degrees of the theater, which is amazing. The images tilt and soar and rotate, not too dissimilar to the Circle Vision movies you might find at a Disney park. So if you're familiar with those, that's kind of what you should expect. It's immersive and stunning to see. It is so stunning that you can end up being distracted from the characters on stage, which you don't really want, regardless of how superb it is. So in that respect, the video design is actually too good for the show at points. Because if you're not paying attention to the story, then you're just being overwhelmed by the immense beauty of the visuals that are going on behind the story. It's something everybody's going to have a different feeling about, and I appreciate and respect that. For me, it looks amazing. I only wish that the story was able to match it. Jason Ardizzone-West has created a set to match the visuals, giving a smooth surface set with layers of panels, which the videos can be presented on. The centerpiece is a half-circle piece up-centered that rotates to become the trunk of a redwood. It's beautifully layered and textured. The tree also becomes the stage for the actors as they ascend the tree. The aforementioned ascent number is balletic as Finn, Becca, and Jesse dance their way up the tree on lines they use to climb and rappel from. It is beautifully choreographed by Maurizio Estrella. Though the design is magnificent and the score is good, the weak spot of the show is unfortunately the book. So much of the story is focused on Jessie and her time in the forest, we don't get much development to empathize with her as to why she's there, which is her loss and grief. We know she's grieving. We understand why she's grieving, but we, and at least I, didn't feel the grief. I think it has mostly to do with that we, for the most part, only see the after effects of her relationship with her son Spencer. Sure, there's one flashback scene where Mel and Spencer do a little performance for Jessie for her birthday, but there's more connection between Mel and Spencer in the scene than Spencer and Jessie, and everything else between Jessie and Spencer is mostly negative. I wanted to feel the love that Jessie and Spencer had for each other, and we don't get that. It limits the empathy the audience can have for Jessie. So when she has these big musical moments of her son, we'd be able to feel deeper for her in those moments. There's more emotional connection in a musical between Jessie and Finn and Becca because we actually see their relationship develop and build. Finn has his own son, also played by Zachary Noah Peiser, whom he is having relationship issues with, and he starts substituting Jessie as a surrogate daughter. Far more development that we get than with Jessie and Spencer. It's an interesting story, which could have been an interesting narrative, but it too gets a bit shortchanged. There is also Becca's insecurities around Jessie that could have been developed more, as well as Mel's character in total, who is so ancillary. She comes on and basically says or sings, "Hey, where are you? I love you. We need to talk." And that's kind of all we get. There's very little connection between Jessie and Mel and Spencer. And these are story elements that all could have been more. What we get in the end is a visually stunning musical with a solid score, with great performances, but a book that feels like it was probably edited down too much, leaving what could have been a deep, emotionally stirring musical a bit dry. But I'm only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see Redwood, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. Also in the description will be links to my Patreon page, Spotify page, and social media pages where you can support my work. You can also support me by liking and sharing this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be Westport Country Playhouse's production of Native Gardens. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.